What did you dream about when you were growing up? I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Can you see your childhood bedroom? The posters and pictures on that wall? That music you listened to? That feeling of lying on your bed, propped up on your elbows, and devouring your favorite magazine? What kind of life did you dream about back then? Now, I want you to open your eyes. Does the life you're living have any resemblance to your dreams? For many years, mine didn't. But before I finish today, I will give you 3 concrete steps you can take to get closer to living the life of your dreams. If you're not living the life you dreamed about right now, you're not alone. The Global Dreams Index survey, fielded by the skincare company SK2, found that half of the women in the world have given up on their dreams. That's half. When I was growing up, I had some very specific dreams about my life. In fact, the bedroom I described to you earlier was my childhood bedroom. The posters on the wall were of my favorite Bollywood stars and their movies. The magazines I devoured were Bollywood fan magazines. My father bought a new one home for me every month. I would read it cover to cover and then cut out the pictures of my favorite stars and tape them to the walls. Every morning when I woke up, my father would have Bollywood music blasting. Me and my sister would sing and dance along as if we were up on the screen ourselves. I didn't know exactly how Bollywood would become a part of my grown up life, but I could not imagine my world without it. So, when it came time for me to choose a career, I became a software engineer. Now, how did that happen? It happened partly because I didn't want to go to medical school, but mostly it happened because what the world calls real life hit me in the face when I was 15. My father, my fellow Bollywood fan, had a heart attack and died. He was 54. My father had shared a lot of his hopes and dreams with me, and when he died, I realized how many of his dreams went unfulfilled. I made a vow to myself that day to pursue all my dreams, come what may. But not knowing any better, I ended up following the traditional path like my late father to pursue engineering. You can imagine there's not a lot of glamour in engineering school. Everyone there is too busy learning about reality to think about movie fantasies. Still, as long as I was in India, I could catch a movie, take a break from my serious studies to read a Bollywood magazine here and there. But that changed when I enrolled in graduate school in faraway New Jersey. Maybe once a year there, a Bollywood film would screen at some out of the way cinema, but it was never too out of the way for me. I would be there as soon as the doors opened, ready to let my mind drift back into a world of gorgeous women in jewel toned saris and handsome men who fall recklessly in love with them. But in real life, I kept moving further and further away from Bollywood. When I finished grad school, Microsoft recruited me and I began my career in Seattle. I loved my job. I loved the people and the company's culture. I loved living in the US, though it really did rain a lot in Seattle. But there was one thing about home that I missed more than anything. I missed Bollywood. My favorite Bollywood movie has always been Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge or DDLJ. It's more than 25 years old now, but maybe you already know it. DDLJ is about this Indian man living abroad who falls in love with an Indian woman he meets on a holiday in Europe. The title Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge translates as The Big Hearted Will Take the Bride. I had seen the movie hundreds of times when I found myself one day thinking about that title. What does it mean to be big hearted? The heart represents love, but also bravery and courage. The hero in DDLJ steps out of his regular life and travels thousands of miles to India to convince the heroine's parents that he should, quote, take the bride. In DDLJ, the bride is the prize. But I started wondering, what would the prize be in my life? If I could do anything I wanted, would I still be a software engineer? The idea made me laugh. No, the prize for me had something to do with bringing Bollywood into the hands of people all around the world, not just in India. People like me in my rainy Seattle apartment. If I was big hearted, if I was brave enough, DDLJ taught me that I could win that prize. I just had to do three things. One, take leaps of faith. Two, act no matter what. Three, repeat steps one and two often. Step one, take leaps of faith. Now, I never went to journalism school. I didn't know anything about writing content, but I knew how to create a website. And that's exactly what I did. I bought a domain name called Pinkvilla and started working on it. In the US, some people throw parties that are BYOB or bring your own beverage. Well, in the beginning, the Pinkvilla party was BYOC or bring your own content. Users started conversations by posting about topics they wanted to discuss, mostly around Bollywood and its stars. And as days passed, I had more and more users posting content on the website. We were clearly filling a need in the market. Did I have everything planned down to the last detail? Honestly, I did not. I had never run a website before. I knew I would most probably run into challenges along the way, but I took a leap of faith and jumped right in. I could have figured or waited until I had figured out every little detail, but nothing is ever perfect, and I sense that if you wait to take action, the right time might never arrive. So I took leaps of faith every day. I was my own hero, and I had this strong conviction that I would make it work no matter what. Back then, my only access to Bollywood were my precious movie DVDs. So I scrolled through a lot of start and end credits of the movies to figure out who the publicists for each movie were. You see, I was a nobody back then, but I took a leap of faith, reached out to all the publicists on my list, and one of them got back. She connected me with another, and that one connected me with the third, and soon I knew all the major publicists working in Bollywood. Step 2. Act no matter what. In the American movie Field of Dreams, the hero hears, if you build it, they'll come. Well, I built my website and people did come. First 100, then 1,000, a 10,000, 100,000. Not just in India, but here in the US and around the world. We had struck a chord. I worked very hard to keep the momentum going, finding new content and new ways to cover subjects our users wanted to know more about. During this time, I was also maintaining my career at Microsoft. So I would come home from a long day at the office, kick off my shoes, and spend nights working on Pinkvilla. Honestly, I didn't get much sleep at all for 2 to 3 years. But acting on my dream gave me energy. And one day, something happened that was both the best thing and the most stressful thing I'd ever gone through, pretty much at the same time. One of our users uploaded some never seen before photos of an actress. A giant newspaper in India noticed the photos and published a story about them, including a link back to my website. Great, right? Then, a couple more media outlets in India and other countries picked up that story. Even better. Then, my website crashed. Disaster struck. We had so many people trying to access the site, way more people than I'd built it for. I had to scramble to get it working again. It was definitely one of the more intense days of my career. But after I got the site back up and had a chance to breathe again, I realized how amazing this was. Millions of people knew about us now. Major publications and media outlets knew about us. We were now part of the global media. It was now time to take another leap of faith and act. It was now time to quit my job at Microsoft. Step 3. Repeat steps 1 and 2 often. Quitting your job sounds easy, right? But that was one huge leap of faith. My mother, back in India, she could not understand how I could give up the work I had trained for to publish movie gossip on the internet. It was not the life she had in mind for me. It was hard for her to imagine bragging about that to our family. But I knew it was right for me, so I took the leap. At first, I thought living on the west coast of the US would work against me. Journalists in Mumbai could attend every glitzy Bollywood party, get all the scoop on who's acting in what movie, what actors are dating or breaking up, all the stuff my teenage self loved to read about. How could I compete with that from behind my laptop screen in Seattle? Then I realized that while their day is my night, their night is my day. Mumbai based journalists may go to all the parties in person, but then they and their publishers go to sleep. So I hired my own photographer and videographer in Mumbai who would share photos and videos with me so I could get it edited in the US and post it before anyone in India ever woke up. Fans started to realize that my website would have the stories and photos they craved before any other outlet. And I started to realize what I first perceived as a competitive disadvantage was actually an opportunity. But you have to be willing to act on those opportunities. And I did. My publicist contact started offering me interviews with the actors, and as time went on, we began interviewing bigger and bigger stars. The little girl reading fan magazines in my old bedroom would have squealed with delight. And I'll be honest with you, even as an adult, I did squeal with delight. Each time my website hit a milestone in visitors, I celebrated. The absolute best moment came for me a few years ago when I heard that one of the biggest Bollywood stars wanted to talk to me. And not just any star, the king of Bollywood himself, Shah Rukh Khan. You have to understand, Shah Rukh Khan had been the center of my Bollywood dreams since I was a girl. He starred in my favorite movie, DDLJ, the movie that inspired me to take action. And he also starred in most of the photos on the walls of my childhood bedroom. If you had told me that one day I would be sitting with Shah Rukh Khan in his living room, drinking coffee and chatting with him about the successful international business I created, I might have fainted on the spot. But that's exactly what happened. It was surreal, but it was also very, very real. I had created a platform that reached millions of people, and he wanted to know more about it. I was his peer. I had information he wanted, and I was happy to share it. And the coffee was delicious too. It took a lot of hard work, but I was living my dream. I had made Bollywood my career. If you have a dream you gave up on, you're not alone. But I bet that dream is still inside of you somewhere. It's lurking in your childhood bedroom, or on that cricket field, or maybe on that dance floor. Maybe in the corner of the kitchen, or written in the pages of your childhood diary. How can you incorporate that dream into your grown up life? You need to take leaps of faith, have courage, ignite your heart, and take action no matter what. These are the life lessons Bollywood taught me. Have the courage to be the hero of your own story. And what do heroes do? They take action. Instead of following the path life has laid out for them, they make their own rules. They follow their own journeys. I have an engineering degree, but I did not dream of a career as an engineer. I dreamed about Bollywood. And somehow, against all the odds, I built a thriving business based on my passion. Thinking about my father, I know he would be so proud that I followed my dreams, even though he didn't get to. And my mother, she's back to bragging about me again. If I was able to build my pink villa, brick by brick, so far away from Bollywood, if I was able to make part of my childhood dream come true, you can too. After all, in Bollywood, the hero always wins.